Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for attending this event today. I really hope you find it useful. I'm Johnny Baker. I work at Storm. I'm just going to be talking to you today about ransomware with a particular focus on what we refer to as the attacker's eye view and how we are using the tools of cybercriminals to address the increasing risk that many companies are facing. So first, just a quick introduction to Storm and what we do at Storm. Storm was founded in 2014 as a cyber incident response and cyber risk advisory service. It was founded by our CEO, Neil Hare-Brown, who has been working in cybercrime for over 3 decades now, and helped form the first digital forensics lab with the Met Police in the mid-90s, and has also written the book Information Security and Incident Management in association with the British Standards Institution. And that forms the principles of our incident response service. So since forming, we've developed a number of products and services for cyber insurers and brokers, as well as end user clients. These generally fall under 3 headings. So we have a series of risk assessment tools. We help plan for incidents with client exercises and training. And finally, we respond to incidents with our fully coordinated cyber incident response team, Resecure. And they're also supported by our Digital Forensics Lab and Cyber Care Support Center in Mauritius. Next, just a brief introduction to myself. I've been working with Storm for around 5 years now, helping with the development and maintenance of our cyber insurance products and services. I've been in my role as technical lead for around 1.5 years, where I assist with technical operations on active cases, as well as overseeing the technical execution of our software products and services. Previous to this, I have a background in financial technology sector. I co-founded an FCA-regulated company which integrated with open banking APIs. As you can imagine, security in the finance sector is absolute #1, and things like ransomware and cyber incidents are always at the forefront of your mind and occasionally haunting your dreams. So, ransomware. As Darren mentioned, we're all aware of it, and it's seen it rise to infamy over the last few years in the form of many attacks that have produced headlines in the mainstream media, for example, Colonial Pipeline. There are a bunch of statistics available out there about these, but I thought I'd kick it off by sharing some of our own internal statistics with you, which will hopefully provide an interesting insight into what we are experiencing out there in the battlefield. So, first of all, we've had a 2 times increase in active cases versus this time last year. Our workload has literally doubled, and we've had to expand accordingly to cater for that. Roughly 60% of those cases are ransomware, and roughly 80% of those ransomware cases are linked to known ransomware gangs. For example, Revil and Conti are some that you might have heard of. We're seeing increased evidence of this being a new organized crime, with different perpetrators offering different services and a single attack often being made up of multiple threat actors, from initial access brokers that hunt down the entry points and sell them on, to ransomware as a service providers that supply the encryption software, and also fully fledged support centers that handle the negotiations. We've personally seen over the last year ransom demands from $40,000 to $1.5 million. So it's serious money. Ransomware is definitely the crime that pays. So some future trends we're expecting. A continued trajectory and actually of cases, really. Despite the volume we're seeing, they do just keep on coming, so we're expecting that to continue. We expect to see a similar share of them to be ransomware cases. The type of cases that we seem to be getting sort of increase uniformly, and we expect that to continue to do so. I think a reduction in business email compromise would be very possible if we can just persuade everyone to use 2FA, but hey-ho. We also expect the same ransomware gangs to be around, but possibly just rebranded. We actually had a case this year that took place just as the Revil group were being shut down at a very pivotal moment in our case, which made for a very interesting 24 hours. But I'm sure they will reappear soon in some form or another. So what are we doing about it? So we are trying to increase awareness of cybersecurity wherever possible through events such as these, We have a well-stocked insights page on our website with a range of different articles and a very active newsletter community that we update regularly. We've started new services such as trauma counselling to support those affected by ransomware. I think this is an area that is being overlooked at the moment. We're focusing on user-friendly products to help get to the root cause of these cyber risks. And alongside this, we're also collaborating with insurers and brokers to help reduce risks on their books in the most effective way possible. One such insurer we've been working with who've shown great innovation with this is QBE. And we are lucky enough today to be joined by Janie Goodker, Senior Risk Management Manager at QBE. So I'm now going to pass over to Janie with a question that I think would be interesting to know. And that is, how have the amount and type of cyber insurance claims changed in the last years for you? And how was there a moment that made you realize a more proactive approach to risk mitigation was required?
Great. Thanks, Johnny. And I'm just going to ask, can you actually hear me? Because
Yes, I can hear you.
Brilliant. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. And yeah, thanks, Johnny, for that question. So the types of claims over the last few years that we've been seeing have been a mix and increasing, as you would imagine. Business email compromise has been prominent, and as a result, fraud incidents have been a rising concern, especially in some of our professional sectors. In 2020, ransomware incidents spiked. Obviously, the whole threat landscape completely changed in 2020. However, even at the start of this year, 2021, we were still seeing a mix of ransomware and business email compromise notifications. But in the second half of this year, it's probably safe to say that around 80% of the claims we're handling are a result of ransomware attacks. And I personally find this quite staggering, and along with the figures that Johnny's just shared with us as well. And it's somewhat scary, given I'm aware from my risk management role that many businesses still don't understand the importance of baseline critical security measures, and that any business, large or small, is a potential target. So coming to the second part of your question, Johnny, when did we start to take a proactive approach? Well, our role in QBE Risk Solutions is very much about supporting clients to manage risks proactively to prevent issues and claims from occurring and minimizing the impact if they do. So we've been offering cyber risk management tools and guidance from the start. But just to give you an idea of some of the key areas that have been most prevalent in our discussions and support to clients over the last 18 months or so, I've pulled out a few guiding controls here on the slide, which we're frequently encouraging clients on to proactively build and maintain cyber resilience within their businesses. So I mentioned baseline security controls, and those would include multi-factor authentication, privileged and remote access controls. And we're constantly trying to educate our clients on the benefits of multi-factor authentication. I mean, Johnny already mentioned, how protective it can be against all these unauthorized access issues. So the human factor, just to mention that, all staff and stakeholders should be regularly updated on the latest social engineering scams and risks. Simulated phishing exercises should be undertaken, but also taken seriously. And everyone should be aware of how to report and raise concerns and incidents and what the channels should be used. The third point there is, so since the pandemic hit, we've had countless interactions with clients on their disaster recovery, incident response, business continuity plans. And more often than not, what we've found is that although many firms have plans in place, they aren't being tested or they're not being tested sufficiently. So the key point to highlight today is it's essential to test your plans on a potential ransomware attack scenario. And the final the point on this slide is ensuring that there's cyber resilience throughout the supply chain so that your business is not impacted or minimally impacted if a third party is exposed to, say, a ransomware attack. And this year, we've been able to take the proactiveness to another level and offer clients direct insights into their own online exposures and how they might be exploited by an attacker. And this is with the launch of Storm's Cyber Profiler service. So would you mind just going on to the next slide, please, Johnny?
Yeah.
Thanks. So QBE has had a partnership with Storm Guidance for many years, and we've taken the opportunity to offer the Cyber Profiler as a value-add service to QBE's cyber policy holders. I personally feel that the service enables businesses to understand the exposures they might have, and also potentially become more knowledgeable around cybersecurity. Many of our clients rely on external IT service providers, and what we've found is helped many businesses to open up a dialogue between themselves and their consultants, and in some cases even enabled businesses to question security decisions or just understand the risks better. We hope the insights offered by the Cyber Profiler service will make a real difference to how businesses view their position in the threat landscape and how they address cybersecurity. It's still early days in the rollout, but we've already had positive feedback and comments on the service, and I've shared a couple of those on this slide here. But with that, I'm going to pass back over to Johnny to tell us more about the Cyber Profiler service. So thank you.